Hi, welcome back to Leader Connect. It's been a few weeks, at least 3 weeks I think, since we've done a Leader Connect, and we are getting ready for our last Connect group of this first session. And so just a few kind of housekeeping things to be aware of, and some encouragement, and then just want to prepare you for our next session, which will start in January. So first off, everybody should be winding down this next week, and you guys should be getting access to this video or this recording this weekend. And so this next week should be most of you guys' last Connect group. So if you haven't done something real relational or fun with your group, maybe this week would be it. You can schedule something anytime you'd like, but most ideally it should happen within the 10-week session to do your fun activity. My Connect group, this last week we did a potluck together, and I know at least one of your guys' Connect groups, you're doing potlucks every week. And so maybe that's not necessarily special. So maybe you want to do something else, or maybe since you do potlucks every week, maybe that kind of is your guys' fun activity. But the point of it, the reason behind having one fun activity during the 10 weeks is, again, part of that heart to have a real intentional connection time, building friendships, building relationships. So there you go with that. We are emailing out to you, and then you can also have access to hard copies if you request that. But we're emailing out an eval form. There's a front and back side. Shouldn't take very long for people in your group to fill out. But what we'd like, they're just going to put basic stuff down. You know, the group name and their name, and then they're going to just some basic things like, one of the things I've enjoyed most about my group is, those types of things. Are we happy with kind of the length of the meetings, and are there suggestions, and those types of things. So some pretty basic eval. What the eval does is it'll help us know if we're doing things right, and if there's things we can improve on. And you guys are all, smart enough. You guys are all leaders. You know the importance of having an evaluation at the end of a session. So we'd like them to do that. And then there's a section on here that right at the bottom of this page that says, for the next Connect group session, I am planning on either A, remaining in the same Connect group, or B, trying a new Connect group, or C, taking a break from Connect groups. And that's one of the most important sections for me, because I want to know who's being connected with and who's not. And so if there's people that are planning on staying connected next session, I just want to know that. If they're planning on connecting in another group, I want to know that too. And if they don't think that Connect groups are working for them, we still don't want them to fall through the cracks. And so I just want to know that. And so so don't take things personally. If someone doesn't want to come back to your group or whatever, it just is what it is. But we want to find the best place. Like I mentioned, I think in one of the very first sessions, is it may take 2 or 3 tries before someone finds the Connect group that's best for them. And long term, we just want people to find a group that they can really gel with and build long-term relationships. So that question is real important, because I'd like to know, are they going to stay connected? Are they going to get connected in a different group? Or are they planning on stopping altogether? So please use those eval forms. If you need a hard copy, let us know. But Leslie should be emailing that out to everybody. Okay. The other question is, is your group wanting to be exclusive this next session, or are you wanting to open it up for other people to join? Both options are totally fine. There's not a right or wrong answer, but we just want to know. So one way is for you to just ask your group, do we want to add anybody else to this group next session? and just ask them that. You may find numbers wise, maybe you're a real large group, and maybe there's just not enough room in your home or wherever you're meeting to add more people. And so you may say, I think we're going to just be exclusive. We might want to add, create a different group, and we'll work on that. We're going to create lots of different groups. But maybe there is room. Maybe you're a small group, or maybe there's 2 or 3. You maybe just say 2 or 3 slots open in our group, and we want to know that if your group's open to that, then come this next session, we can be able to say, hey, there's a couple of openings in so-and-so's Connect group that meets on a Tuesday or meets on a Monday, and that'll help me out a lot. So that question, would you please just ask your group, hey, are you wanting to be exclusive, or are you guys open to us adding new people to this group? And just one more thing about that, it's okay to be exclusive, because sometimes that you need that in order to develop deep, long-lasting friendships. And that's our whole goal here. And so don't get turned off by that term exclusive. That just means that you guys are gelling. And some groups, it'll be disruptive if you have a new person or even a few new people come into that group. Okay. Another thing, we emailed this out last time, but just so you guys know, January 11th, the week of January 11th, that's a Sunday. So starting Sunday and all throughout that week is when we'll be relaunching Connect groups. What I'd like to know, from you guys, are you wanting to continue on as a Connect group leader, as a host, as a co-leader? Are you wanting to do this? And I value you. You guys are doing an incredible job. Sometimes people need a break, and sometimes people want to keep going. And so would you just let me know? I'd like to be able to continue that conversation if that's something that you would like to do. So the week of January 11th, we will start another 10-week session, sermon-based Connect groups. And then God Encounter. So we'll finish up Connect groups, then a couple weeks later, December 5th and 6th, we're doing a God Encounter. Now, I don't know if all of you guys are familiar with God Encounter. Here's a brochure, and there's all kinds of information in it, and there's a little registration form here. God Encounter is $25 a person, $45 a couple, and $15 for a repeat. And there's all kinds of good reasons to go through God Encounter. God Encounter is perfect for somebody that's been in a rut and needs just some freedom. It's perfect for somebody that needs a fresh perspective on grace and the cross and an encounter with Jesus, even in the area of salvation. It's great if someone has never been baptized in the Holy Spirit. There's a whole session about being baptized in the Holy Spirit. It's good to just kind of clean out the cobwebs and have a little Holy Spirit car wash and kind of set some things right. If there's been kind of blockages or walls that we need to break through in someone's life, God Encounter is perfect for that. So it may be you that wants to go through God Encounter, but my big ask, would you promote this in your Connect group this week? Would you? We're emailing out an electronic version of this brochure, as well as there'll be hard copies on Sunday. Would you make sure those are available to your group and give them the opportunity to sign up for God Encounter? That would help us out a ton. I appreciate that. And then lastly, just leadership tip of the week. A friend of mine, I'm not going to mention names just because I don't want, for just personal reasons, I don't want things to go beyond here. But somebody recently gave me a tip about high maintenance or conversation monopolizers in a group. Group settings, group dynamics can be really interesting. And so sometimes what you have is somebody that kind of dominates conversation, takes a question and goes off on a tangent. Maybe they're a little socially awkward, or maybe they're just real talkative, whatever. But most of the time they just don't notice how disruptive it can be if they just go off on a tangent like that for a long time. Every once in a while, things are okay. It's not that we need to be real structured, but you know what I'm talking about when there's the one person that kind of derails the whole conversation. And for the sake of the whole group, we want to be careful with that. Well, there's one simple way that somebody told me recently that you guys can try, and I'm going to try this out myself, if you know who that person is, wait to sit down in your group until that person has sat down, and then do your best to sit next to the monopolizer. And the reason being, and I don't know this from experience yet, but I just know this from my conversation with my friend. The reason why this works is when you're sitting across, when you can make eye contact with the monopolizer, it's harder to cut off conversation. It's easier for them to just keep going when you have eye contact with them. It's for some reason it's just easier for the conversation to just keep on going and going and going. But when you're sitting next to them and you don't have that eye contact, it's easier for you to have control of the conversation. I don't know the science behind it, but I know from their perspective that it works. So if you find that you do have someone like that in your group, maybe just sit next to them. Do your best to sit right next to them, and that may just maybe make it easier for you to kind of pull the reins in and take a little bit more control of that conversation. So I hope that helps. This has been Leader Connect, and again, we're getting ready to wrap up this first session. I think it's been overall just very successful, and we're looking forward to relaunching Connect groups in January, the week of January 11th. Many blessings. Thank you for all your hard work. Please contact me if you have thoughts, questions, concerns, anything like that. And I hope you guys have a great week. God bless.